Good evening, everyone. Welcome to OOFS, Out of Fuel Simracing, a Le Mans Ultimate League based in North America. I am Nitin Murthy. I will be your host today. And joining me tonight is no one. Well, not for now, at least. Today's race is at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace at Interlagos, in the middle of Sao Paulo, Brazil. A fan favorite and a very old track. This is known for its chaotic weather and kind of technical and very up and down layout. So, to give you a quick track walk, you see the checkered flag in black in the middle. We head down the start-finish straight to the Estacena. Tricky chicane where you have to maximize your exit onto the Curva do Sol and the Reta Oposta. Otherwise, you risk getting overtaken going into turn 4, the Cita do Lago. Sharp 90-degree left-hander that also goes downhill and has some camber, and the exit of that corner can catch you out. We did see a few incidents happen there in the sprint race. From there, we head to the flat-out left kink of turn 5 and into turn 6 and turn 7, Ferradura and La Rancina. Another tricky complex. This is kind of doable in the LMP2 URs today. We'll get into that a little bit. But in the GT3 cars, they are a little bit trickier. And just as a reminder, the format today is, of course, our multi-class race. We then head from that double right-hander into a hard braking zone for turn 8. And that goes into the slow sort of Mickey Mouse section, as Crofty might call it, of turn 9, Pinheirinho. Pretty long left-hander. It's quite hard to see where you should get on throttle for this corner, really. So that can cause some people to get caught out and have a slow exit. We head again into a braking zone for turn 10, Bico de Pato. Another hairpin, which he leads into a fairly fast left-hander of Mergulho. That heads into the braking zone of Yunso, also known as Is That Glock Corner. From there, it's a flat-out run through 13, 14, and 15 up to the start-finish straight, but you expect to see some moves being set up with the turn 1 braking zone being very, very late. So, yeah, this layout, of course, a classic and always encouraging some good racing. Today's race, of course, as I alluded to a little bit, the multi-class format, where we have our LMP2 ELMS or unrestricted spec versus the GT3s. 55-minute race with double fuel and tire wear. So this is essentially a mini endurance race, testing our drivers' ability to sort of conserve their car, conserve the tires, conserve fuel, while also racing hard against a field that is close, very, very close. In fact, we're seeing the gaps, whatever pace gap there is, come down rapidly. I, for one, am very, very excited for this week. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed our little recap. We have about 4 minutes left in practice before we get into qualifying. Right now, you're spot-leading the P2 field in practice by quite a way. There's some good lap times out here, 24.4, 24.5. And pretty close for P2 actually, in the P2 to 4 within about 200s. That's pretty impressive. In the GT3 field, Avi Ganti, a new face here, by the way. We did see him yesterday in the sprint race, but his first multiclass. And currently leading in practice a few 1.3 seconds ahead of Dakota Botello. Ollie Mangrum in third, just right behind Dakota. Oh, really working hard to keep that Porsche in a straight line. Well done, Ollie. So we do see the times as it is in practice right now. We will get into qualifying and see what these guys really have to give. Just before we get into qualifying, I want to also point out our current championship standings. In the P2 UR field, we have James Rubio leading the championship with 91 points. Of course, also incurring a 10-kilo success ballast that we have here at OOFS to sort of counter repeat winners and try to keep the field a little more interesting. Don Bailey in second place in the standings, 88 kilos with 4 kilos of ballast coming into this race. Greg Kachadorian on 82. He did have 10 kilos of ballast going to Le Mans, but has lost that after his retirement. So he will be one to look out for today. Ryan Balloon in fourth on 81 points with 5 kilos of ballast after his podium at Le Mans. Hans Montes on 79. Nathan Sides on 78. Brian Crane on 71. Michael Landry on 70. Looking to gaining some momentum in this championship early now that he's starting to figure out that P2 UR car. Dave Wozniak on 66, Chris McLennan on 64, and Michael Quant, who we didn't see last race, and we're not going to see tonight either, on 30 points. Of course, all drivers get a drop round in both championships, so we do expect to see this these standings change towards the end of the season as people get their drop rounds accounted for. Coming to the LMP2 championship, we have William Mangrum and Dakota Botello tied on points and on ballast on 97 and 25 kilos each. Guillermo Pare silently sitting in third on 85, 5 kilos of ballast. He is a fast guy, so do expect to see him come into play with the reduced ballast. Grayson Head and Jesse Olsen tied for fourth on 79 points. I think I've written it as fourth and fifth, or I haven't actually. I could say tied fourth. Casey Jackman in sixth on 71. Ross McLean on... Casey Jackman in sixth. My apologies. Ross McLean in seventh on 60. Adriel Lugo Ortiz, Dustin Run, and Matthew Kennelly all tied for P8 on 57. We do have a very... So, looking at the chat, Trey Mack asking how many points do you get for a first place? I believe it's 50 points for first, 47 for second, and 44 for third. Yeah, Andrew Kennelly also clarifying in chat, as I see there. Thank you, Andrew. Coming back to broadcast. About 30 seconds left in practice, so we will see qualifying start up real soon. Now I'm just voice on board. Porsche loading. I just want to say that was a really good save, Willie. Nice little Gabby Bartlett impression there from Lee Mangrum. This is going to be a fun race, folks. Hope you do stay with us. Qualifying just about to start. We are waiting for a green light at the end of the pit lane. Aviganti, the first one out and waiting at the line. And him is Guillermo Pace. And yeah, we do have a green light. Cars are go. I think that's Justin Fortuna, Buda Patello are the other two next two in the queue. Followed by Johnny Greathouse, Parker Thomas, and Casey Jackman. A quick word on the qualifying format. So as you see right now, we have our GT3 field heading out with 25 minutes remaining. They will have 12 minutes to set their best lap. That's why you see the mad rush for going to get out. After the 13-minute mark, any GT3s that cross the start-finish line will have to return to garage. They are not allowed to do a lap post the 13-minute mark, just to reiterate. And at the 12-minute and 30-second mark, we will see the LMP2s leave the garage. And the rest of the qualifying will be all for LMP2s. Right. The leaders of the field are coming up to turn 11, or Bergoglio. Empty Carney is 6 and 7. Louis Mangrum has decided to go a little later than everyone and just maybe give himself a bit of a gap to any traffic. As we see Guillermo Pace once again being the first person to start a lap here. Go on board. Braking nice and late going into turn 1. You can't really use the full performance of the tire just yet, due to the need to bring them up to temperature. The ambient right now is about 22 degrees, 33 degrees track temp. So you'll have to bring the tires all the way up from 22 to about 70 degrees. As you'll see, the drivers kind of Guillermo fighting some understeer. Not typical of the Corvette to understeer, but yeah, that just tells you how little grip the tires actually have. Still figuring out the weight transfer as he manages to navigate 6 and 7 pretty well. Going through 8, see, through 9, like I said, really hard to see exactly where the apex and exit for the corner are. Going through 10, good cut, going really wide in the entry to 11, really trying to maximize the track width there to make it easier to get and carry a little more speed. Then taking a nice amount of curve through 12, and he's gonna be a flat out run through 13, 14, and 15 up into the line. Even on these slightly cold tires, it's a pretty easy flat. And Pace's gonna come up to the line and do a 1 minute 37.3. Okay, not bad for a cold tire lap. Let's see how the rest of our field are getting on. Dakota Batella coming behind in 39.1 against and Avinash County with a 42.8. Once again, showing that tires do take a while to warm up, and a 37.3 on a cold tire set is not a bad lap at all. We are seeing the first round of lap times float through. We had to lap time. I don't know if it deleted or went to the garage or disconnected or something. Not entirely sure. I did see something vanish. Donnie Greathouse has gone back to the garage. I don't see an incident for him, so probably something happened that my software is not quite capable of detecting yet. The Pacanini has gone past. Someone else has also returned to garage. But we'll see more of that. Jesse Fernandez, that's a name I have not seen here before. Currently sitting in P2. Welcome, sir. David Carter and chat for the wishing everyone the best of luck. Good to have you with us, David. Sad you can be with us racing tonight, but we do love to see you here in spirit. Our Casey Jackman is coming up to Yunso, which means that our drivers are about to start setting their second laps, as you see. 2 seconds up on his previous, Guillermo Pace. Dakota Botello with the 35.8. Jose Fernandez. Avinash County coming across. Not okay, he's on a 37.7. Maybe that Lexus takes a little bit longer to get his tires fired up. But we will see the fast coming down. 36.1 from Casey Jackman. What can Patricio Fernandez do here? With a little bit of a tow from that Ferrari in front. That is, I believe, Dave Harris. One of our reserve drivers who has been promoted up to a slot for today's race. Welcome to you, sir. I'm pretty sure we have more. So we can play about 20 cars. I believe Elo and Rich Spoon are not. We can adjust that to 17. There we go. Should be able to see everyone in. Jesse Olsen, our one of our commentators from Wednesday, coming in, hoping to set his first lap of the night. Let's see if he lines up and to turn 14. Cross pit entry right about now. He's gonna set a lap time of I think it's a 1 minute. We have 1 minute. 37.817. So we're kind of getting the car up to temperature. Maybe went out a little bit later than the other, so he's a lap behind, if that makes sense. Guillermo Pace is a lot improving on his last lap. Dakota Botello, meanwhile, has improved on his last lap and gone purple with 34.920. Well done to you, sir. Let me check if the fastest lap overlay is working. I can see that popping up. That's right, they're completing their laps. You see Patricio Fernandez crossing lap 42, so something has happened on that lap. Had to board it. Orange County is still 8. I'm sure there's more pace in that car. Interesting that it's taking so long for him to come up to 10 though. Couple other cars crossing the line. William Mangrum has invalidated his last lap. He's gonna want to get a move on. There's only about 4 minutes left in qualifying for the GT3s. Who has improved? Michael Thomas, meanwhile, sitting in 5th for now. Doing pretty well. If he has more time to find it there, I'm sure we'll get a few more lap times in. But looking competitive, that Lamborghini. Hi there, Ron. Nice to see you, man. Have you with us for the broadcast? Dakota Botello has improved his last lap. He's gone to 34.7 and deciding to finish his run. Avinash Gandhi managed to beat him by 0.3 of a second though. There we go. That's the pace we were expecting to see from Avi after yesterday's sprint. Dakota Botello choosing to not put too many laps on that medium tire. Keep in mind as well that we only have about, 10 tires? So preserving a fresh set of tires and making sure that your qualifying tires are as fresh as possible for the start is gonna be paramount. So Dakota Botello choosing to keep his mediums fresh for the race. Parker Thomas has come to a stop and returned to the garage. I think that's his qualifying time. 35.7, not a bad time at all. Harrison Miller, having raced in the Uma Musume Mustang yesterday, has reverted to Mountain Dew spec. Good to have that car back on the grid. Dave Harris have a spin out of something, being out of control. He has returned to the garage, 36.9 and sitting in 12th place. Bonnie Great has just set a 37.9. We'll see some improvement from that. Probably, he did kind of get into the 14 tires. Oh, what happened to Jesse? Question. Jesse is sitting 10th. He's still setting laps. He, I think, went out a bit late on, so that's why you're not seeing the lap times come up. He's basically a lap behind. I'm sure we'll see a bit more time coming out of that Porsche. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. Michael Landry in chat as well, qualifying. 14 tires. Thank you, Michael. So did you get about 2... You have 3 sets of tires then. Oh, but that would... Yeah, then you would want to save the tires for temperature reasons rather than wear. Yes. Our top 4 are all in the garage. Harrison Miller in 5th is gonna try and complete this lap. I don't know if he's gonna go for another one. See, as he's going through Marguglio. Okay. Coming up to Yunso. Getting a good exit. Nothing. Lap looking tidy from what I've seen so far. Question is he gonna go for another one? A lot of drivers choosing to pit early. Probably, yeah. Interlagos is quite harsh on the tires. Some beaches. 35.3 for Harrison Miller. Does improve his time but not his position, and he does choose to stop. That means that off the GT3s, Casey Jackman, Patricio Fernandez, Richie Wood, a few car lengths behind Casey. Oh, Justin Fortuna probably having a spin or something. Oh no, sorry, that was oh, as I say that, Patricio Fernandez standing it way wide at Yunso. He does have time to start another lap, but it's gonna be marginal. Is he gonna go for it? Judging from his speed, I don't think so. Yeah, that exit from Yunsu really wrecks your straight line speed going in, as he has also got a stop-go penalty. Oh, he has run out of VE. Okay, that's probably why. Easy Jackman is gonna come up to the line. This is gonna be his last lap. We are down to below 13 minutes. He's gonna set a 1:35.923 to put him up to 9th. Not bad, not bad. Richie Wood has chosen to pit. And I believe that's MT Garney coming up to the line to be our last GT3 at a time, and he sets a 1:37.093. So that concludes GT3 qualifying. Our grid for GT3s, and starting from P1, Avinash Kanti with a 33.899. That's a really good time. Put down. Dakota Batol in second with a 34.7, but also keep in mind that he did do a lap less. So may not have gotten those tires up to temperature yet. Guillermo Pare and William Angram sharing row 2. Harrison Miller and Parker Thomas are set to continue the half-an-hour-long duel they had in the sprint, starting P5 and P6. Patricio Fernandez, on his debuts, qualifying 7th, although with the stop-go, I don't think that's going to affect him going into the race, though. Jesse Olsen is sharing, will be alongside him in 8th. Easy Jackman and Justin Fortuna bringing up all V8 row 5. Dave Pacanini and Richie Wood gonna be bringing up row 6. Grayson Head and Dave Harris bringing up row 7. MT Garney and Dustin Rand in 15th and 16th on row 8. And finally, Donnie Greathouse is our last qualifier. He will be the sole car on row 9, 17 GT3s on the grid. I'm, of course, sitting here commentating. It would be a little weird if I was driving the car as well. ELO and Rich Spoon, there are no-shows. Abe Wozniak leaving the pits. Interesting. Landry stopped, but has not started again. I do see a lot of LP2s having stopped, so maybe it's just train and sector 2. So we have Yoris coming through turn 13. I believe this is going to be his first flying lap, if my math is right. It sometimes is. He's going to come up to the line and not set a lap. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, it does look like the LMP2 field is on their first flying lap now. Hans Montez, by the way, has stuck to the Pepperoni Pizza LMP2 for this week. He's going to try something new, but I think he likes that livery a little bit more than he is letting on. James Rubio, our race winner from Le Mans. He will be looking for a good result today, having had that bit of a confidence boost. Ryan Balloon and 7, our P2 from last week. We will be looking for a good result. The LMP2, I hear, at least from Ryan and Greg, that is, not as good around Interlagos. Le Mans seems to be a track more suited to the LMP2s. Of course, we did see a lot of, even with that, drivers struggling to cope with the 2X tire wear. Pizza delivery does return to this, yes. Oh, got the pepperoni. Yep. Always good to see the variety of liveries that our drivers have. Greg Castellan here in his Podium Hunters LMP2. And Balloon is, I believe, rocking the standard United Autosports livery. Yeah, that is the United Autosports livery. Michael Andre as well, not really changing the liveries much. We will see more, I think. A couple of spikes? Yeah, spikes the LMP2, yeah. Rexy is the GT3. A couple of spikes. Right? As we are seeing our first times come in for the P2 field, I have not forgotten. Michael Landry currently on top of the 27.7. I did see them doing 24s in practice, so that's clearly tires still coming up to temperature. It is a pretty short lap, so I'm not surprised entirely that we're seeing these cars taking a bit longer than you would expect to get their tires up fully up to temperature. He has caught some traffic though. That's a bit unfortunate. Right in front of him, one of the spikes. I'm not sure if it's James Rubio or Joris Butkus. Oh, it is Joris Butkus. Interesting to see. Not sure whether Joris is just kind of wound up there or is trying to give a draft. As the other LMP, I will get Nate Sides getting out of the way and completed a flying lap. Sides is going to continue on to do another. Michael Landry setting a 24.825 on that lap. On then. We are seeing some more representative lap times come in. James Rubio is going to cross the line next. You can hear that. 29.0, so still getting the tires up to 10. Hans Montes has come up, is in P3 right now in the Rolling Roni, as is risen by chat. I do really like that name. I can't think of a better one right now. So we're going to go with the Rolling Roni for now. Gabe Wozniak has completed a warm-up lap, I believe, that 27.26. Joris Butkus with a 25.6. And remember, he is ahead of Landry. Now, whether, again, I'm not sure whether that's a tow, attempt to create a tow, or he just kind of wound up there purely by coincidence. So Michael Landry is kind of sitting nicely in that range where you just about get the tow, but not suffer too much from dirty air. Joris Butkus is going to cross the line. He's going to set a 23.7. Michael Landry setting a 23.9. Alright. Joris Butkus is clearly confident in this pace enough to stay out of the front. The Casadorian, meanwhile, is coming out of Yunso, so we will see a lap time from him. He's got Ryan Balloon ahead of him, so traffic kind of playing a part here. Whether that is, again, we don't know whether that is by design or just a coincidence. Judging by the length of the track, it could just be a coincidence. Rick Casadorian coming across the line with a 24.279, Ryan Balloon at a 25.806. So, pretty close. About half a second off of what Joris is doing, but now Greg choosing to take a cool down lap, so that does look like unintentional traffic. Behind him, Don Bailey has done a 25.301. Greg Casadorian just letting him by. He is on a flyer and has improved his first sector. He's gone pretty wide there, but I think that should be within track limits. And will, of course, show his onboard real quick. Ooh, there's a big catch coming out of turn 7 and an even bigger snap under braking. So that's going to seriously compromise his lap, as Joris Butkus has gone even faster with a 23.390 and has parked it. I do believe, unless our other contenders can find a better lap time, that does look like pole wrapped up. Michael Landry is closest right now, about a little over 2/10 off. He is going to try. He has not found an improvement in the first sector. I'm going to see if he can find something in the second. Yours' sectors have been wiped, so I can't really compare. Rick Casadorian is going to spool up for what looks like one more lap, I want to say. As Abe Wozniak is out on front, and Balloon has returned to garage. So that's Ryan's qualifying done, I would say. Yeah, he is done. Rick Casadorian is going to start his final lap. We are going to transition over to T10. Doing well through the San Asas and the Curva do Sol, heading down the Hato Costa. And down to the Interlagos. An improvement in the first, 22.6. That does look pretty competitive. As he's heading into Laranzina and Pinheirino? No, not Pinheirino. Oops. whatever the other one was. But through 6, 7, and 8, managing to get through nicely, holding that low speed through turn 9. Doing well on this lap so far. We'll see if that translates to an improvement in sector time as he heads down to Yunsun. Going through Margulio. This is a pretty easy flat in LMP. And heading through, he has found an improvement in sector 2, but will it be enough to give him a position or two here? As Greg Kachadurian coming up to the line, has got 2 green sectors and is about 9/10 off pole. As Don Bailey has gone up to 2nd, so where does Greg Kachadurian land? He stays in 4th, does find an improvement in lap time, and is going again. So we will keep an eye on this and see how that develops. Don Bailey has returned to garage, as is Michael Landry. So Greg is our leading contender right now. Nate Sides, the other car I would expect to be see up there. 22.962 in the first sector, not quite where he needs to be. 42.8 in the second, so not quite on the same pace as the top 4 here. But coming up to the line, can he find an improvement in lap time? Hans Montez has returned to the garage. James Rubio and Chris McLennan, the only other LMP2s on track at the moment. Nate Sides coming across the line with 24.7. That is a respectable time. As Ryan Balloon has looped it. Oh no. And that does look like curtains on his qualifying. That is at the exit of turn 4. And yeah, he has indeed returned to garage. Meanwhile, who else do we have on track? James Rubio has stopped. Oh no, he is slowing down. Stop. Greg Kachadurian is coming up to the line. He has found 2 green sectors again. Slight improvement in both. But will that again translate to an improvement in position as you come across the line? 23.813. Just about improving, but not enough to improve his position. The Greg Kachadurian is going to have one more lap to try and salvage something. Or try and find a position, I should say. My apologies. As he's going to come up to turn 4, we can go on board with him for a little bit. Pushing hard on the exit at the corner. And going nicely to turn 5. Turn 6. We'll see a slight break. We'll need to coast through in the P2s. The GT3s are a bit slower to there, of course. Less downforce, more weight. Turn 8, okay. Turn 9. Again, in the low speed regime, the LMP2 doesn't quite have the downforce yet. Take these corners much faster than a GT3. Of course, still helped by the slightly lower weight, I think. Flat out through Margulio and coming up to Yunsun. Doing nicely to use the apex curve and is going to use all of the exit as we go to the TV broadcast view. Greg Kachadurian is going to cross the line or he's going to go into the pits right as I say that. Good to you, Greg. But that does conclude qualifying. Yeah, Baker, 33.9 is nuts for the GT3. I believe that's very close to alien times for Interlagos, but I'll have to double check. Yeah. Oh, hello, Nick. Everyone, welcome Nick Johnson to the broadcast. Good to have you here, Nick.
Glad to join you. I just caught the last few minutes of qualifying, and 33.9 is nuts. He's a good addition to the league. I'm really excited to see him battle Dakota.
Yep, I am too. He has set quite the pace though, so I don't know if there's going to be much of a battle. Of course, we can all be optimistic here. Coming up to the end of qualifying, let's go through your LMP2 field real quick. Joris Putka starting on pole with a great lap. Don Bailey in second, about 2/10 back in qualifying, a little over a 10th back in qualifying. Michael Landry and Greg Kachadurian on row 2. Nate Sides and James Rubio on row 3. Hans Montez in the Roland Roney and Abe Wozniak on row 4. And Ryan Balloon and Chris McLennan bringing up row 5 in LMP2. Before we head into the race, a little bit of league promotion. Of course, today marks the third round of our Multiclass Championship, as you see on the left here. The format, as explained at the top of the broadcast, a 55-minute race with double tire usage and double fuel burn. This makes it kind of a mini endurance and brings an element of strategy, as well as trying to be faster than everyone else, as is the case with every race. We do also have a sprint championship that is exclusively GT3s, a 30-minute race with normal tire wear and fuel burn. That is a bit better suited for those who are just dipping their toes into Le Mans Ultimate or trying to get a bit more seat time in the GT3s, as it is mainly just a push from lights to flag. You see the schedule for both leagues. The Sprint Championship running on Wednesdays and Multiclass running on Thursdays. It is Thursday. Sorry, sometimes I just have to double check that with how crazy life is sometimes. But
yeah, the sprint race is more geared to being a support series for the multi-class, but we've had good attendance for both, so I'm really happy to see how the league's doing.
Yeah, and of course seeing very, very close fields in both. Of course, everyone's doing a very good job with the practice and sort of trying to keep up with everyone else. And that brings with it some really good racing. It's been great to watch.
Yeah, the overall split in both classes for times is almost unbelievable at this point. I'm genuinely surprised how tight together all the times are, and even in the race, you almost can't get free air because you're always battling someone. So it brings strategy and racecraft to the forefront, which I love to see.
That being said, we are getting ready. Ignore the battle widget. It sometimes goes a little bit crazy on the formation lap. And we are, I think, just about ready to go. Don Bailey, the only LMP2 still in the garage. He better to move on. I think there's much time left. The entire G field is there. We'll be going momentarily. There we go. Eduardo Freitas getting us underway on the formation lap. As we see. So Nick, what do you think we're going to see into turn one after seeing the sprint race yesterday?
I'm hoping that everybody realizes that turn one doesn't win the race and they make some good decisions. But I also know the temptation, shall we say, as a driver to make as many spots up as quick as you can, especially if you feel like you kind of messed up qualifying a little bit. You're going to make up as much ground as you can to get to where you think you belong in the race, and that doesn't always end well for everybody.
Yep, and of course, this whole race is quite the weighting of strategy versus outright pace, like I've been saying. And we get the green flag going. We are underway. Joris is getting a decent start, but he's going to get challenged by Michael Landry on the inside and Greg Kachadorian on the outside. Everyone making it through cleanly for now. I don't see anything, as Hansmont is going a little bit slower. GT3 field making it through okay. Oh, as Avinash Ganti has had a spin out of turn one. Oh no, the pole setter on GT3 has now gone all the way to the back, as well as Dave Paganini over there having had a spin. A couple of early casualties in this race. But heading into turn 4, do you see Joris has held onto his lead? Not much changing. Greg Cacciatore, Nate Sides has jumped up to third. Don Bailey is still in the garage. He has not left. I do believe that's a DNS then, unless he does manage to make it out. As we see the LMP2 field is stabilized a little bit. Let's take a look at the GT3s. As Guillermo Perez has taken the lead of the race following whatever happened to Avinash Ganti. Dakota Botello still in second. But counting Guillermo over here, as Harrison Miller has made his way up to third. Come on then. Good job, Harrison. William Mangrum in fourth. having held that position. A lot of movement. Jesse Olsen has made it up to P5. He had a great start, gained 3 positions apart, one more than the 2 spinners at turn 1. Rock Thomas has stayed in 6th. I'd imagine there have been a couple of sends going into turn 1. Doris, but
Yeah,
still...
I mean, Jesse and a few other guys really made out. I'm curious to see how Ganti makes his way back up through the field.
Yep, as we see further back, a move going into turn 1. Patricio Fernandez sending it on Justin Fortuna in the Sid Stang. Keep it clean, guys, as they do indeed. Nicely done, Patricio. I believe that's his first
that
race.
was definitely a commitment pass there. He put his car there and didn't leave Tuna an option to counter.
Yep, nicely racing, as you see Avinash and Dave in the background there, just about catching up to this train now. 4.5 seconds the gap between them and P14. A couple of moves. Dave Harris being very interested in getting past Racing Head. Fair not parade. That battle budget does say 10th, but I believe that's 10th overall. That is actually for the lead of the GT3 field. Oh, as Dakota... Wait. Okay, never mind. That's just my display doing funny things. You see some good battle trains forming over here. Not going too adventurous. First Butkus, meanwhile, is still leading pretty comfortably in LMP2. Oh, and as I say that, he goes very wide out of turn 1. That gives the opportunity for Michael Landry. He is in the slipstream, but is he gonna go for the move? Is he gonna commit to this? As going into turn 4, no. Landry, I think, choosing to lift and coast and save the battle for another day. For the back among GT3s, not much has happened since lap 1. Everyone keeping their nose clean, as Dave Harris and Dustin Rand having a bit of a battle here. Harris did have an overlap, but then went very wide going into Curva de Sol and has lost a couple of positions here. Oh, it's Dustin Rand as well, going really wide at the exit of Curva de Sol and losing that position to Empty Garney, and now it looks like Donnie Greathouse will be making his way past as well. Ooh, for a moment there, Dave Harris really looking interested in that position as well, but choosing to back out. And everyone managing to get through. But this is allowed Avinash Kanti to close up this gap. 7/10 behind now. Let's see if he goes for a move or 2 in the next few laps. Do not see any. There is Greg Casadorian is being very interested in Nathan Sides. Again, Nathan Sides doing what Joris Butkus did the last lap, going very wide at turn 1. He is gonna be attracting the interest of Greg Casadorian here, who is gonna be alongside, although barely. And is he gonna send it? He is gonna send it going into turn 4. Nate Sides kind of backing out of that almost. And Greg Casadorian has made up a spot and gone up to P3, which frees him up to chase after Landry and Butkus and out in front.
Well, yeah, Nate didn't fight there. I wonder if he's playing the strategy card and trying to fuel save a bit more than the top 3.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. Avinash Kanti going side by side with Dave Harris. As I said, we will see some moves going into the more overtakey zones. The kind of pace Avinash is showing in quali. He has managed to get past Dave Harris on the straight. He's now going to set his sights on Donnie Greathouse. Is he gonna get the overspeed to make it? It doesn't look like it. It does look like positions will stay more or less the same. By the way, Dustin Rand has managed to get past Donnie, who goes a little bit wider than he would like into turn 4. That opens the door for Avi. Going into turn 5, nothing doing. Staying behind. Probably using the opportunity to save a little bit of VE as well, Avinash. But good racing so far over here. Oh, as was that Dustin going really wide. Yep, getting some good side-by-sides over here. We'll try to get that to you folks. Dustin Rand doing well to hold off Tony Greathouse despite being a little bit offline. We will see how this battle develops going into the final corner. Out there, still quite a few clusters going on here. Much passing has happened, or action has happened, but Aviganti about to change that. Getting a great exit. That Lexus really looking strong in the traction zone. And managing to get alongside the McLaren of Donny Greathouse. And is this move going to be done going into turn 1? Does look like it. Avi braking late, managing to managing to secure that position. That's another position gain.
Yeah, Avi is a really talented driver. That was some serious late braking with a compromised line. He can balance the car on that knife's edge.
Speaking off on the edge, racing head being very interesting in Richie Wood. Neither of these drivers are really saving. Okay, Richie is saving a little bit, but none of the drivers are really diverging on strategy, if that's the right word. Everyone's saying right around the same ballpark in terms of virtual energy so far. Hasn't developed as much. This is the closest battle we have on track. Avinash is closing up on Dustin Rand, as Dakota Botello and Guillermo Perret are continuing to duel for P1 in GT3s. As we say that, the P2 field is about to start catching some of these GT3s though, so that's gonna add another element of unpredictability. Meanwhile, going out of the final corner, we've seen that Lexus have great traction, so can Avinash County make something happen? He's got Dustin Rand and MT Garney ahead of him. They are going to go side by side. Avi will be licking his fingers at this opportunity. Or licking his lips. I don't know why licking his fingers. But these two are going to go side by side. As Dustin Rand trying to make it around the outside of the Senna S's. Manages to get that position done. Nicely done, Dustin, but can you hold on? And he's going to get a bit of an assist from Avi as he's going to go around the outside of MT Garney. Nicely done. MT Garney losing a couple of spots going into the first 3 corners. He's going to try and stay in the slipstream and probably fight this out, but I think Avinash has got this move done. That's another position gain and up to P13.
Yeah, that was a really opportunistic move from Ganti, but Dustin's move, taking it around the outside into turn 1 and making it stick, that's an impressive move, especially given some of the struggles he's had lately. It's really nice to see Dustin improve and make moves like that stick.
Yeah. Dustin Rand, fun fact, we were doing a little bit of digging earlier today. I say that, Richie Wood has gone off. Oh no, we were just having people root for him in chat as well, and Richie Wood has looped it coming out of turn 10. He is letting the LMP2 leaders pass by. But that is
Richie
really
boosted it a little too hard, I think.
Boosted a little bit too hard. First reference to his livery. I'm not sure we can show that livery on stream. We do have it's a little bit on the risky side. I'll see. I'll see if I can get a view of it later on. But while in the GT3 field, we're seeing a few battle trains. Dustin Rand Aviganti has managed to get past Dustin Rand. I kind of missed that. You see the LMP2
Dustin Rand got a little loose into the sharp right hand in Sector 3, and Avi is a very opportunistic driver, as we're seeing, and immediately pounced on it.
Aviganti taking another risk
Grayson Head.
Yeah, going side by side with Grayson Head. Let's see how this goes. Grayson is, of course, not going to give this up without a fight. We've seen some great battles from him. And really making Avi work for that position, but he does manage to get it done. Well done, Avi. Back up to the top 10 within less than 10 minutes of this race. Really pulling if you cast your minds back to 2012, a Sebastian Vettel performance here at Interlagos. Of course, one of my favorite Seb drives ever, as a Seb fan. Aviganti doing a pretty good job replicating that performance right here. Going up the field.
Yeah, he's he's flying right now, and he's not really that far behind the leader. It's not out of the realm that he could possibly come back up and fight for the win, the closing stages.
Yeah, as he is getting passed by Nate Sides there. There's a few more LMP2s to pass. We'll see. Is Jackman getting very interested in the back of Jesse Olsen for P5? By the way, it's top 5 and GT3s have just been going. There is not been anything happening since lap 1. We have not been giving them a lot of attention, and that is why. But we may see things change as Joris Butk is managing to lap Jesse Olsen, but kind of getting ahead of him. I don't think there was much impeding there, but I don't think Jesse would appreciate that. As going through turn 6 and 7, we are going to see Michael Landry get held up a little bit. That's going to hurt his chances at maybe sneaking a P1 here through the GT as they lap the GT3s.
That's a tough place for the P2 to catch the GT3s, is the performance delta in those back-to-back tight corners is not very big.
Yes, I was just saying that on the in the qualifying, the LMP2 is almost running at the same speed as the GT3s through there, just because of the loss of downforce. That does, yeah, you're right. That does make it tricky.
Especially balancing the lack of ABS with the lack of downforce in those sections of the track. That takes a lot of skill to train your left foot to know exactly how much brake to put in.
Yeah, ABS really does bite you in this game sometimes. Hey, Jackman is still holding station behind Jesse Olsen. Everyone kind of still on the same VE strat in the GT3s. We of course can't see the P2 field's fuel usage. So unfortunately we don't know what kind of strategies they're running, or if there's any sort of variation in the strategy. Ariganti has found his next target, Patricio Fernandez, and as these LMP2s pass, will he use that as an opportunity? Oh, Patricio going quite aggressive on defense there, but nothing major. No, as Aviganti is still gonna send it. Patricio being very respectful and giving him the space, but does need to go off a little bit. Not sure whether he's forced off there, but both drivers managing to make it through. Still side by side, going into turn 6. Aviganti taking that outside line, carrying a bit more speed, and finally managing to get that thing done. Ooh, as that was Justin Fortuna, who has had a moment going through that corner complex and dropping down to 10th. That brings Ganti up to 8th position.
You know, nobody's specifically fuel saving, it seems like, but you got to give Ganti some more credit. Not only is he moving through the field the way he is, he's one of the leaders on VE. I'm curious to see if that plays out long term over Guillermo and Dakota, who are both a couple percent lower than him.
Yes, let's discuss some strategy. So technically it is possible to do a one-stop here, but it's really difficult. You gotta do a lot of lift and coast, of course, trying to hit that VE target. And going for that much lift and coasting does, of course, rob you of your pace a little bit. As in GT, we see the leader still separated by basically nothing. Dakota Patella doing a great job of keeping Guillermo honest. Guillermo doing a great job of holding Dakota off. Of course, that success ballast might be coming into play here. Dakota, remember, on 25 kilos of ballast. Guillermo on 5. So I would say that's the success ballast doing its job. What do you think, Nick?
I definitely think it plays a factor, and it brings for closer racing at the top. Somebody in midfield isn't necessarily going to be as fast as the front runners, but the top 5, top 6 gap, I think the success ballast is doing what we were looking for it to do.
Yep. You see the LMP2 filtering through. Of course, haven't talked about this battle for a while. Dave Wozniak, Nate Sides, and Ryan Balloon have been in this train for a while, as has James Rubio, but he has fallen back a bit because of traffic. I'm sure he'll be able to make that gap up. All being led by Hans Montes in the Pizza P2. What's the name for it? I can't find it anymore, but we're gonna roll with Pizza P2 for now. Managing to hold his own in fourth. P4 finisher at Le Mans last week as well, so doing a pretty good job with a bunch of drivers who very much would like to get past him. Putting right behind and soaking up the pressure and not really putting a foot wrong.
No, Hans is handling the pressure really well.
Oh no! I was just seeing this gap come down, and sorry to cut you off, Nick, but yeah, Justin Fortuno either going for a move there on Patricio Fernandez, I would assume, since he was behind him, and kind of getting it wrong, spinning out. That will be something to review later, but this looks like something's not really going to plan for Justin here.
That's right. Justin, he's pretty good at fighting back. He's another one of those drivers who's shown a lot of improvement, and I'm sure he'll bounce back. Got to be like a goldfish. Forget your mistakes and look forward.
Which one is that? Is that Talladega Nights, or I forget the movie?
It's Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. Oh yeah. That is. I really should get up to date on that. Started it and then flipped off. But anyways, you might be thinking I am just waffling on, but there really isn't much going on. Everyone is, of course, being very disciplined in this first stint, looking to gain the advantage in the form of a little bit of VE saving, or fuel saving for the P2s. The set P2s are coming up to lap a few of the leading GT3s now. Harrison Miller, taking an odd line there, but Ryan Balloon in the P2 behind doing a good job of... No wait, that's not Ryan Balloon, that's Chris McLennan. Still doing a good job of holding the position. Again, like you had mentioned, a bad spot for the on P2s to catch up. But doing a good job of navigating through it so far.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Harrison. He's running up front today, and I know he was not expecting himself to be up there, so that's a good feeling as a driver when you're running up front and you didn't really think you had the pace to do that.
Yep. And it'll be nice to see what he can do through this race. I was running a little low on VE compared to the cars around him. Of course, Guillermo Perret also running a little lower, a couple %, but that could make a big difference in the pit stops when you're so close together. Again, about a % of VE is worth about 0.4 of a second in the pit stops, so 4/10. So with the field this close together and getting any advantage you can is extremely useful. Patricio Fernandez, Empty Garney currently right now. I thought Patricio, but then I spotted another one. Currently the lowest at 25. The highest is Dustin Rand and Justin Fortuna at 33% each. Couple of close seconds. There's Avigante, of course. Still doing a really good job of fuel saving, like you said. Still up at 31%. So managing to save up a good amount while still setting the pace here. 35.5, fastest lap. He's having a pretty strong comeback drive.
Avi and I ran one of the Sebring 3 hours together, and I'm fairly good at fuel saving, and he was running a faster lap while using the same amount of fuel as I was. So he's definitely got that in his back pocket. He might push and gain a couple spots more before the first pit stop, and you might see him start to really fuel save hard in the second stint.
34 minutes left. Still have a few laps to go for the GT. I think it's what?
It should be roughly 22 to 25 minutes, depending on how much they fuel save. for
Yeah.
each stint.
Yeah, I was trying to do the lap count in my head. I think we did in the Enduro the target of 34 or 35 laps a stint when I did it. Make the one-stop work, you had to do 36 and 37. So you had to get up to lap 18. I doubt that's gonna happen with any of these guys. Probably coming to a two-stop early doors. From the looks of it.
I would expect to see cars coming in on lap 16, possibly lap 17, which means they're most likely going to need a splash and dash at the end, and that can also play into the strategy call. Do you go in early and come out with clean air so when everybody else comes in, your tires are warmed and you're in the groove, or do you stretch it as far as possible to spend as little time in the pits?
Yeah, and while we were speaking, Avinash Khanty managed to get past Casey Jackman for 7th now. Not sure what happened. Don't see any particular stunts, at least recently. Yeah, so he's on the field. Meanwhile, the GT3 leader still locked in position. First, Dakota Batal has a slight VE advantage that he's built up now, thanks to sitting in the draft all this time. So can he capitalize on that in the pit stop phase and maybe sneak past Guillermo? We will see that play out very soon.
Yeah, sometimes as a driver, if you know you don't have a massive pace advantage, it's almost better to sit behind the guy and either force him into a mistake or take advantage of the draft, like you said, and use that to your advantage later on in the race. I think Dakota's playing this the right way.
Yep, as we see Grayson Head and Patricia Fernandez going side by side. Patricia getting involved in quite a few battles today. For his first, this is his first race in OOFS, from if my memory serves me right. Doing pretty well, keeping it very clean. Grayson Head getting past for P9. On here.
Looks like we got our first pit stops coming up here soon. The top two P2s have requested, and Abe's in the pits.
Abe's in the pits, maybe looking for an undercut, having been stuck in that train for a while now. Just Luna is closing in on Donny Greathouse, who has been kind of holding. Oh, I say holding station. Dustin Rand has gone wide at turn 7, unfortunately, and has kind of lost a couple of positions to these two. Just gonna say they have been sitting tucked up pretty close, and they will be looking for a way to for an opportunity to get past. Like that opportunity has come to pass.
Yeah, I think Tuna's got to be looking to get back inside the top 10. He was well up there, and he definitely has the pace to fight in that section of the field. So I'm sure he's looking for a bit of a recovery drive after the spin in the incident earlier.
Has got a bit of a run coming out of the final corner. Gonna draft along and get alongside Donny Greathouse here. Keep it clean, guys. Just unfortunate, opting for the outside line. Donny Greathouse defending well. But is that move gonna be complete even before turn 1? It is. Donny Greathouse almost backing out of it a little bit and letting Justin Fortuna have that position. A good bit of racecraft, not really risking anything in the first stint. As Justin Fortuna, by the way, is also well ahead on VE, so doing a good job so far of managing this race. Forward to seeing what he can do through this second stint. So we may not have to wait that long, as we're about to get a rematch here. Oh, as Hans Montes getting real close, managing to pass, but that was a little bit. Oh, the P2 is really getting a bit feisty at this point of the race. Probably sensing that the real race is about to start up. And letting Ryan Balloon through. Oh yeah, and Michael Landry and Joris Butkus have pit for P2, and they're about to come out. Landry has jumped Joris in the pits though. So Michael Landry is currently leading on the road for the P2 field. Abe Wozniak is still in sector 3. But that is comfortably behind. Yeah, a bit of a change of position for the top 2 in LMP2.
Greg Katchadurian's in the pits as we speak. I wonder if any of the P2 drivers took tires. Because that's another thing you'd have to manage. You're right front on this track. Both your front tires really take a beating.
Yeah. Justin Fortuna getting alongside Patricio Fernandez as he entered the pits. Has enough lead to extend maybe a lap or two more? I'd say a lap more. Dave Harris, Grayson Head is also in the pits. As Grayson Head, Donnie Greathouse, up a couple more. Dustin Rand as well. So we have about 5 GT3s in the pits and 3 LMP2s. Right, James Rubio. Greg Cachadurian is still in here. As we see, where does Michael Landry come out in all of this? Cachadurian is just rolling in the pits as we saw. Michael Landry is going to come around turn 14 and 15. And you can see on the map that P3 of Greg Catch coming through the pit exit. Judging by the sounds of that LMP2, I don't think he took tires. It does seem like a very warm tire shod LMP2. Michael Landry on the last. Of course, that's kind of hard to gauge. Greg Cachadurian has managed to jump both these guys in the pits. So yeah, you might be right. Taking tires may be the thing that these drivers have played with in this first stop, just to see if they can gain any track position.
Yeah, it's a good way to jump somebody. The real hard part about not taking tires is once the driver behind you has warmed them up and they're on a fresh set, that pace delta can be killer, especially in the P2s if you flat spotted them at all. That LMU is very vocal about flat spots, shall we say.
It really tests the integrity of your wheelbase. Another way to put it.
It better be solidly mounted or it'll be in your hands.
Yeah. So we have a few of the GT3s have stayed out managed to save an extra lap and have stayed out. Dakota Botello currently P1 on the road, but will Guillermo Perez manage to undercut him? That is the question. As we have Jesse Olsen managing to jump Guillermo. So again, maybe tire choice coming up? I don't see Guillermo going super slowly through the pit exit. Although, yeah, he is very close to that wall, so maybe having taken a couple of tires. Second in the pits. So, right now we have Jesse Olsen leading the pack of cars who have pitted. Guillermo Perez in second and Harrison Miller in third from the guys who have done the pit stop already. As I see Dakota Botello, William Angram, Avinash Kanti, and Justin Fortuna entering the pits. Dave Harris and Richie Wood are just exiting. Ooh, as Avinash Kanti going side by side with Richie Wood. These guys are on different laps. Although, Avi backing out, I think he is just entering his pit. Might just be entering the box. Yeah, he was just entering his pit box. No, Casey Jackman has managed to jump Harrison Miller. Maybe tires playing out, because Harrison isn't really fighting back at all in terms of pace. Yeah.
Given the gap from Jesse and everybody else on that pit stop cycle, I'm fairly certain Harrison took tires as well.
Yep. Jesse Olsen is gonna come around the start finish straight now. So it will be interesting to see. William Angram has managed to jump Dakota Botello in the pits. So he has come into play. Jesse Olsen just making it through turn 1 as Willie's exiting pits. So Willie choosing not to take tires, most likely, judging by the gaps that we see on screen. Jesse Olsen about 10 seconds back now. Dakota Botello coming out right behind Jesse and ahead of Guillermo Perez. So it does seem like Dakota and Guillermo have taken tires. Willie and Jesse betting on those tires lasting all the way to the end. I don't know if that's the smartest bet, but it could work if you are just about gentle enough.
The big thing with not taking tires and running the whole set is you gain roughly 18 seconds versus somebody who did. So that's when the worn tires versus fresh tire lap time delta will really start to show is towards the later laps of this race. Oh, Dave Baccanini is backwards.
Yeah. Is backwards in uni. I'm so sorry for that. But yeah, managed looping at turn 3 or the entry to turn 3, but managing to get going again. 14th. I'm not really sure how he can end up in that situation. There's quite a few possible explanations.
It looks like we had another pass in the pits, by the way. Gonti leaped over Parker.
Yeah, getting a couple seconds ahead of Parker. Dante from the gaps. I want to say he took tires. Because if you're going to go for an aggressive strategy, you want the fresh tires. But again, how much of a time does tires gain you is the question entirely.
I think somebody with his pace, he's probably in full charge. I would have assumed he took tires. And knowing if he can run Willie, Jesse, or Dakota down towards the end of the race, those new tires could be the difference between the podium and fourth.
Yep. And I do see what you're probably looking at, Nick, in chat. Yeah, he's right behind Parker at the stops and managed to jump past him through a bit of clever strategy and using that pace when it mattered. Jonas Ganti up to P7. We'll see how much progress he can make. 30 seconds back. He is losing a bit of time to Harrison Miller, so that tells me that he has taken tires. This does scream cold tire lap to me.
Yeah, we'll know at the line once we get his last lap time. If it's 3 to 5 seconds off his normal pace, I'm going to assume he took tires. And today, the temperature and the weather makes the track a little cooler than I think some of the drivers are expecting. So your cold tire laps will be really important.
So that's why. So I was wondering in quali, because the drivers were taking like 4 or 5 laps to get their tires up to temperature. I was like, they're having a hard time. I thought it was just a short lap, but yeah, a cooler tire track would explain it. Or at least make it a little bit harder.
Yeah, with the overcast clouds, LMU models the sun heat really well. So as soon as it's overcast, the track will lose anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees. And that makes a big difference in how your tires grip up.
Meanwhile, we were looking at the LMP2 field and their pit strategy. Michael Landry has managed to get past Greg Katsadorian for P1. Again, Greg is in P2. Not sure how that out, but Greg is about 10 seconds back, so that sounds like an incident. You'll probably get a look at that later on.
Either that or Greg is hardcore fuel saving and planning to make it up in the end. If he can stay within 40 seconds of Landry, even with a splash and dash at the end, that might be the winning gamble.
That is an strategy. We'll keep an eye on that as the race progresses. Meanwhile, Hans Montes has dropped from P6, I think so. Abe Wozniak and James Rubio have managed to jump him in the pits. Although Hans does appear to have taken tires, I think, judging by that gap between the two. The line, he is at 1:32.27, so that does scream cold tire lap to me now.
Yeah. I would imagine his race pace would be much lower than that.
Yeah.
Looks like we have a battle for the podium in GT3. Dakota is sniffing all over Jesse.
Yep, Dakota Botello getting the also. Not sure if that is coming through in the Discord, but yeah, we are seeing them going side by side into turn 4. Jesse's gonna try and hang this around the outside, but ultimately has to concede that position. And Dakota Botello moving back up to second place. No, did we expect? So Dakota did come up just behind Jesse, and we do think that Jesse didn't take tires and Dakota did. So maybe that's just the fresher tires coming into play there, allowing Dakota make that move relatively easily.
That absolutely could be. I would be shocked if the delta is that big, but Dakota is also extremely talented. If somebody can wring the most out of not completely up to temperatures, I think Dakota would be one of the ones that could.
Has
Jesse
gained
didn't
about
seem to fight too hard, though.
did not also on 73%. So a little bit lower on VE than Dakota. Of course, Jesse Olsen did pit the lap before. He did gain. Dakota did gain like 1.2 seconds the lap before the overtake, and with the overtake, he's gained about 2.5 seconds. So either Jesse is fuel saving massively, or the tires have just kind of hit that. Are doing a very Porsche thing, and destroying the tires isn't out of their wheelhouse. I'm not going to be setting the fastest lap for 35.371. So
Yeah,
that does.
Avi is definitely on full attack mode, I believe.
Yep. Looks like he did take tires. Looks like he has gotten them up to temperature. He is reeling in Casey Jackman at a rate of about 3 seconds last lap. So expect this battle to develop pretty quickly. Ryan Balloon is now trying to size up Hans Montes, not quite able to get this move done. Hans holding on pretty well. Casey Jackman behind Harrison. Harrison Miller has, by the way, gotten up to 5th place. He's gotten past Casey Jackman. So it does seem like, yeah, the guys who we think did not take tires are all in the 38s, by the way. Willie, Jesse, and Casey all in the 38s or 37 or 37.5 for Willie. Definitely struggling a little bit with the used tires here.
Yeah, it almost as a driver, this would make me consider doing an early pit stop, try to time it so I can come out with 100% VE and fresh tires and have just enough to make it to the end. Just when I'm seeing all the people that took tires reeling me in and gaining positions like they are,
Well,
sometimes you got to pull an audible.
I do see that logic. I do think, though, that once you kind of commit to the taking tires to the end, if the guy behind pit and then you see the pace go up and you pit again, you would still lose that position either way. You're kind of stuck in a damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of gambit. So don't take tires and pray that the gap that you made is enough and your track position matters a bit more than pace. Or take the tires and then hope that your tires don't fall off. Hope that the guy in front's tires fall off before yours, so you can make the move. I don't know how well that works in LMU, but it would be interesting if someone could actually make that strategy work.
Yeah, the gamble in my head is, everybody else is going to have to do another stop, whether that's a splash and dash at the end, or if you can do the timing right and just run one full flat out stint. It's a gamble either way, and it's interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm curious to see how quickly Dakota catches up to Willie.
He has caught up about 2 seconds on the last lap, and which is about 4 seconds back. There's Willie at the end of the straight. Dakota now visible in this mirror, so there's going to be some thoughts running in Willie's mind. I don't know if any of them are going to go with your strat, Nick. I do hope someone tries it. I would be really curious to see how that plays out.
Guillermo Perez is getting real feisty with Jesse. Yeah, I'm definitely wondering if Jesse's tires are just gone.
Does look like it. Guillermo Perez going around the outside of 6 and 7. Not quite able to make it stick, probably his Corvette things, but he's going to dive into 8. Oh, as they make contact. Oh no, Jesse Olsen, man, somehow surviving that. I thought for a second that Porsche was spun out. But some good hard racing going on here. As Guillermo's gonna try and get this move done, but Jesse is still hanging in there. But eventually has to concede. That Corvette is looking like $1 million right now. Yeah.
Just want to give a shout out to both those guys side by side for 3-4 quarters in a row. That was some really impressive driving from both of them.
You know, Jesse Olsen is in the draft, but I don't know if that Porsche has enough grunt to make up for the tire disadvantage. It looks like the gap is rising even though he is in the draft. That's move done for Guillermo. Visconti, meanwhile, is about to go around Harrison Miller. Both of these guys on fresh tires, but of course Avi setting the pace here tonight. As Harrison getting not giving this up at the fight. Oh no, and then they made contact. And Avi has spun out again at turn 1. Oh dear, this is not what you want to see. That's gotta be... Well...
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Avi handles the battle with Harrison when he catches back up. I definitely think he has the pace to get back up there.
Yep, and hope that we can see a slightly cleaner retake of this battle. Further back, Richie Wood has caught up to Patricio Fernandez. Both these guys not running 3 laps. I think these guys are also among the ones who did not take tires. Just judging by the lap times. But yeah, 139s. Good. That has to guess that, yeah, they're so far off their fastest lap times. It's also likely just, yeah, that on higher fuel, you're gonna feel the worn tires are gonna impact you a lot more when you're also on high fuel. If you guys get the lower fuel, they may have a little bit more pace. And yeah.
Yeah, and the more fuel, obviously, the more weight, so that affects the car and the tires and the load on the tires through every phase of a corner.
Well, we have not been giving the LMP2 leaders much airtime this race, but Michael Landry still holding station in front of Joris Butkus. Greg Katch-Duran has now dropped to 13 seconds behind, so I am inclined to believe that he's trying some sort of saving strategy, fuel or tires. Just with this gap growing constantly, without any major incidents really. Grayson Head has had a moment the last lap. Might catch that. As I say that, Michael Landry getting a little held up by that GT3 on the exit of Yunso. That gives Joris all the incentive he needs to get in the draft and maybe try a pass going into turn 1. They are gonna go side by side. This is gonna be really close. As Joris goes around the outside, a little bit of contact. But both guys doing very well to keep their cars pointed in the right direction. And Joris Butkus has retaken the lead. Man, was that some good timing or what? To look at these two.
It looks like Landry's going to try to come back into turn 4.
Yeah, and not quite able to though. So Joris Butkus taking the lead and holding on to it. So LMP2 lead has changed hands. 10 minutes to go, and race, a lot of battles still raging. Ooh. William Magrum, by the way, has spun out. Not sure what's happened. Dakota Botello has given him the place back, so I'm inclined to think there's some sort of contact, as now Dakota and Guillermo going side by side. Guillermo does get that position back. But, oh my, a lot of things kicking off at this stage of the race, as we are teetering on the edge of whether this is a 2-stop or a 1-stop for some folks. Meanwhile, Harrison Miller has caught up to KZ Jackman. Wait, no, Harrison Miller behind Casey. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's kind of just a mental map there. Yeah, so Harrison is giving Casey a lot of his attention. See if he can make a pass here. Balloon and Hounds, Montes, Harpo still locked in battle. Richie Wood and Patricia Fernandez as well. We'll end this. Mirko is catching up to Willie again. Yeah, Willie Mangrum doing 46.0 on the last lap. Dakota. They'll probably see their time reflected in Dakota Vitello's lap time as they cross the line here. But Guillermo Paré has got a decent run. Maybe not enough to send it into turn 1. But he will be looking at that Porsche and thinking, give me that position. They do have a back marker. Dave Pacanini is in front of these guys. But all three going through turn 1 in single file. As there's an LMP2
throw a blanket
behind.
over the top 3. That's amazing.
Yep, as we also now have an LMP2. That is, I believe, James Rubio coming through to lap them. And all these guys. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide. Oh no! What on earth? As Willie and James have both kind of lost out there. Not sure. I think Guillermo tried to send it around the outside. We'll have to go. That'll be something to review of race. But
yeah, I think that was a case of GT3 battle and slightly impatient P2, and 2 cars trying to occupy the same space at the same time. Physics doesn't work that way.
And now James Rubio not trying to get past these guys cleanly. They are still side by side through this whole second sector. Come on, guys, keep it nice and tidy.
And not to mention, you have Dave Pacanini up front as a lap car in the GT3 class, so it's blue flags in both directions right now.
Yeah, the marshals are probably just besides themselves trying to figure out what flag to show at this point. As James Rubio does eventually manage to make it past these two, and they manage to make it past Dave Pacanini. But Willie Mangrum unfortunately losing out through this whole bit of chaotic sequence. And Guillermo Paré has retaken the lead of GT3s with Dakota Badella back behind. So we are reset to first stint status, folks. But Guillermo is going to get a slightly compromised exit out of turn 2. So that gives Dakota a chance, maybe heading into turn 4. Gap's 2/10. I wouldn't think there is a send to be had in here, and Dakota sensibly backing out.
You know, as a league admin.
That's Abe Wozniak sideways at turn 4. That was doing well not to collect any G3s. Jesse Olsen passing him, but I think Abe's going to get past him pretty easily into 6. Oh my. Got a lot going on. As Michael Landry is now getting pretty close to Joris. Does look like another turn 1-2 gone a little bit wrong for Joris, but managing to hold on to P1. Good intense battles for the lead in both classes today. I don't know which way to look at this point, honestly.
And while we were watching the battle for the lead, Gonti got by Casey Jackman, as did Harrison Miller. So Harrison running top 5.
Oh no, and Casey Jackman, I'm showing a 1:45 on the last lap. Oh my goodness, that is terrifying. Going 3 wide at 2 LP2s.
That brings me back to the point I was trying to make earlier. Like, as a league admin, this stuff makes my heart go in my throat. As a race fan, all I can think of is hell yeah.
Yeah, but as a GT3 driver, that's like, that gives you Vietnam flashbacks.
Oh yeah, that's a Code Brown moment right there. You're like, oh please don't hit me, please don't hit me.
Please. As both these guys now making their way to the pit, so this battle will continue. Oh, Joris! Oh my goodness! Please tell me he got it stopped in time, because I would hate to see this decided by a penalty. I don't see one. I do know that yesterday I did see the penalties a little bit early. For now, at least, this battle looks like it's going to continue. But these guys pit.
Yeah, but now with that type of mistake and locking the tires up like that, we'll have to see if he has the tire performance with flat spots to keep up with the pace that Landry's setting.
Oh, Michael Landry exiting the pits ahead of Joris Butkus. So probably a bit of calculated refueling coming into play there. But Landry has... And Joris Butkus has a stop-go penalty. You hate to see it. Oh no, Yoris, after such a good race-long battle for the lead, is now gonna be dropped all the way down the order. Feel for you, Yoris. That sucks.
Yeah, that's a pretty gutting moment as a driver, but you have to run that risk when you're running the pace these guys are with the gap as small as it is. Every tenth matters, even after 55 minutes. So you gotta run the razor's edge of slowing down in time.
Yeah, what is that? Is that a phrase that I really like? Think of as risk reward. Like, how much risk are you running, and what kind of rewards are you getting for it? Yeah, that was just one risk too many for Yoris, unfortunately, but that is the name of the game here. Oh, is Harrison Miller getting a big snap on the exit of one? That opens up the door for Aviganti over here to maybe.
Yeah, it looks like Gavi's got a really good run on him.
Yeah, but that Mustang doing well to hold on in the straight line. Is Avi gonna send it? He did think about it, made himself visible in the mirrors, but Harrison doing well to hold his line and not give in to the pressure and holding on to that position for now. Yeah, Terrence, it does. The last few minutes. Sorry, just looking at chat here, the last few minutes have been pretty entertaining. We really don't know where to look at this point. I'm looking at the gap sheet, and it's just both battles are insane. Yeah, sorry, Nick, you were saying.
Oh, I was just curious to see if Avi was going to try to send it around the outside. He's made that pass stick a few times this race. But you're 100% right. With all the battles throughout the field, it's almost difficult to figure out which one to talk about. And when you're talking about one, you notice three more that happened when you were focused on one.
Oh, and we will get to what this battle concludes. Meantime, Yoris Butkus has DNF'd as choosing to take that, choosing not to continue this race any further. That's a tough decision, but I do fully understand. Also with yours, Harrison Miller doing a brilliant job, really cutting off that inside line for Aviganti, but he's gonna try and make it stick around the outside. Harrison kind of getting stuck on that curb there almost and losing out, but now Aviganti is
the sausage curb.
Yeah, he got the sausage curb and he's now compromised, so he's gonna have to play defense. As Harrison, with that Mustang's good straight line speed, looking to make it count, but not quite able to get the overlap, and Aviganti just about hangs on. Good battling between these two. Good battling throughout the field, bar a couple of minor bumps, but this has been a great race to watch.
Yeah. It looks like most of the GT3 field is going on the one-stop strategy.
Donny Greathouse, as you say that, jumping in for the second stop. I think a slight miscalculation on the number of laps there, looks like, judging by that VE number. Our LP2 leader, Greg Kachadurian, is gonna complete one more lap after this. That's gonna be slightly suboptimal. Does he have enough fuel to make that extra lap? It certainly does look like he's staying out. I don't see him diving into the pits. Yeah, Greg Kachadurian has gambled on taking the one stop, and he has a 24-second gap now, so fuel save away, Greg, as he starts the final lap of this race. Meanwhile, right up ahead, that is the battle for the P1 in the GT3s, as now Greg Kachadurian is going to come up and lap these guys, so they're on their last lap too. So coming up, Dakota Botello, not quite able to get the overlap going into turn 4, but holding station. Guillermo Perez doing very well this race. Through all the chaos, has managed to get that lead back in despite the strategy, and both these guys doing very, very well to make the one stop work. And they are still nose to tail on through third sector or second sector. Coming up through.
Another one to watch is Avi might get Jesse for 4th on the last lap.
These guys are pretty close. Timing tower is obscuring Jesse a little bit for me, but yeah, Aviganti getting a pretty good run on him. He definitely has the grip advantage, but can Jesse hold on? Remember, Jesse is the has got excellent racecraft and will play hardball on defense if he has to. And you can see right there, pushing Avi all the way to the outside, but Avi does have that grip advantage. Is he going to try and send it in the final corner? He is, and he has got ahead, but oh, both of them going into the grass, and Harrison Miller jumping ahead of both of these guys on the last corner, as Greg Castadorian has crossed the checkered flag and will take the win in LMP2s. Huge shout out to Greg Castadorian making the one-stop work in the LMP2. And the GT3s, meanwhile, Guillermo Paré has crossed the line and doing some celebratory spins. Dakota Bocello in second, and Willie Mangrum on the podium after all that happened to him. And Harrison Miller clinching a P4 right at the end there. Beautiful stuff, Harrison. Jesse Olsen in fifth and Avinash Kanti in sixth. That was a great battle. Unfortunate bit of contact there that probably robbed Avi of what would have been an insane comeback from last to P4. Meanwhile, on track, Hans Montes, meanwhile, has finished third, grabbing a podium in the Pepperoni P2. Well done to you, sir. This week, you will be on the podium interviews. And on the podium for real and in our hearts. Michael Landry, meanwhile, taking P2 in the LMP2s. So, great job, everyone. Oh, man. Sid Stang. Sid Stang has finished in ninth. Alright, so let's go here then. Alright, so do we call on the P2 podium? Nick, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay, I'm ready whenever you are.
Alrighty. So who is Greg? I don't see Greg in the voice chat. Okay. We can call on Hans. Who else? Landry is in there, so and do we call? I don't see Greg in the voice chat, so I'll probably.
There's Greg.
Oh wait, is he? Oh, he's here. Okay, I didn't realize. Hello.
Hi.
All right, gentlemen, welcome
Just
to the
in the back door.
I forget he has the privileges. All right, gentlemen, welcome to the post-race interviews. This time we do have mic and Discord, so we should have audio up and running, so our audience can hear all of it. But all right, without further ado, let's start with you, Hans. Last week I got you on the podium because you were on the podium in our hearts. This week you are actually on the podium. Talk us through your race, man. What a drive!
Oh man, I'm speechless kind of. But through my drive, I really wanted to focus on a one pit stop. I didn't think a lot of the other guys were going to do it. I didn't realize the guys in the front were going to do it. But yeah, I had a train behind me for a while. I felt kind of bad, but at the same time, I was just trying to drive my race, and it was a lot of fun. Ryan definitely kept me on my toes. There was a couple moments that are a little questionable between him and I, which I want to apologize to him too. And I know Abe and I got into contact right at the very beginning. I'm not sure what happened there, but man, that was a lot of fun. A fun drive.
Yeah, congrats, man. You drove really well. You played your strategy the right way, and this is your first podium, right?
Yeah, first podium. So I'm like freaking out. My wife's over here freaking out. It's a lot of fun.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
Congratulations. And you were
thank you so much.
If we had a driver of the day vote, I think you would have won it. Chat was going bonkers for you. We do have one question for you from chat, though. We were promised new liveries.
Yeah.
Where are the new liveries, Hans?
You know, that is definitely my fault. I got lazy this week, but at the same time, I'm really happy I brought the pizza back because it's a hit.
Yeah.
Well, if you didn't get a podium, you're going to get 10 lashings for not having the new livery. We'll let you slide since you got a podium.
Yeah, I like that. I like this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Congratulations again. And to you, Michael, now. P2, we saw you and Joris have a hell of a battle through the pit stops just all the way, and just unfortunate the way it ended for Joris. But yeah, talk us through how that battle was. It looked fun from our end.
Yeah, it was fun. Trying to manage the traffic and try not lose time and still racing hard. But went for the two pit stop, but was not the fastest strategy for sure this race. But it was still fun to try to push the car and survive.
So you say that the two-stop was not really the way to go. Talk us through what you were thinking before the race. Did you think the one-stop was possible, or was it just a choice on the fly to go two-stop?
I think it was possible, but I want to try the two stop. I don't really like to save fuel. I just want to go race, but it didn't work. But maybe we'll have to do that on the next race if I want to win.
Understandable. But great race from you, Michael. Again, great to see you get to grips with the P2 and P2 and the P2. So congratulations. Hope to see you on this podium many more times, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats, man. I'm glad to see you enjoying it.
And now, finally, moving on to you, Greg. Made a brilliant strategy work. Talk us through your stuff. So we were debating when you were planning to fuel save, but I'm betting you were kind of holding back that second stint.
I just want to point out that I called that.
Yeah, that was all Nick.
Yeah, first stint. I mean, I figured for sure it would have to be a two-stop. And my goal was just to stay close and try to get an extra lap. Once I saw that A, they were just way too fast for me, and B, I did easily get an extra lap. I was kind of looking at my tiny pedal calculations, and it was suddenly when I came out into the second stint, it was showing that I was going to be really close. So I knew I couldn't catch him on pace without dying. So I just did try the only thing I could, and I'm amazed that it worked. I finished with under half a liter.
Wow.
I bet coming around to take the last lap there and realizing you had one more lap to do, the fingers, the toes, everything was crossed at that point.
Pretty much. I was surprised at how much longer I was able to go. They pit like 3 laps before the end, I think. I didn't think I could have saved that much. So yeah, I'm just as surprised that it worked.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on another win, Greg.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really well. All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Congratulations once again to all of you. You are now free to return to the voice chat, or I can send you there.
Thank you. See you guys later.
Appreciate y'all.
Send me.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Congrats one more time.
All right, Hans being extra for being sent for voice chat. Okay. All right.
And lashings are back.
All right, so for GT3s, we can't get Dakota. He says he's not available post-race, unfortunately. We can get Guillermo back in here.
And I'll get Willie.
Right. And anyone else we want to pull up? We can pull up Harrison. He had a great race. We'll pull him up. Harrison, goddammit.
What'd I do?
Whenever you join the voice chat, the little duck sound plays. It's just pretty funny on stream. Nick, are you gonna get Willie or should I?
I'm having technical difficulties.
All right, I got him.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, without further ado, welcome to the post-race interview. A couple of familiar faces here, and a very new one. So let's start with you, Harrison. Insane performance, man. Great job bringing the Mountain Dew Mustang up to 4th place. Talk to us about your race.
I was so confused why I was 3rd. You guys don't understand. I thought you guys were doing a bit. I'm not kidding. I was very confused why I was there. And I saw everyone was fuel saving. I'm like, I probably should fuel save now too. I was literally confused. I was like, why am I here? I really thought you guys were doing a bit to get me. I really was that confused.
Well, Dakota's not available, so your dollar store Dakota
Yeah.
today.
Honestly,
No, I really don't have a reason. It was just magic.
at one point it was just too difficult to try taking you. You just had straight line speed, so I couldn't take you going into turn 1. And then anytime I did have a glimpse of catching you in the curves, I just ended up messing up a corner. So at that point, I was like, I'm just gonna feel safe.
I assumed you were saving your tires to get me later because I thought there's no way Willie can't catch me. There's no way.
I definitely couldn't.
See what happens when you race people instead of bullying them?
To be fair,
True.
Greg's the reason this setup is so much better. So he's the reason I'm here.
Oh, we'll blame Greg for everything, so that works.
Yeah. Yeah, on that note, yeah, Willie, talk to us about the one stop. How was it like what was it like on those tires? Because we saw those lap times drop very quickly. We did not expect that.
Yeah, it was awful. I think the last 15 minutes I was sitting around like below 60%, so I just had no grip. I had to wait forever to get on throttle. And I was just holding on for dear life. It's like, all right, just keep going. Maybe you'll get a P2 here. Because I knew I could try to defend against Dakota towards the end of the race, but I didn't know how good I was going to be able to, especially going to turn 1. He could just break deeper with fresh tires. So, yeah, not a good choice in my opinion, but hindsight's 2020.
And talk to us a little bit about what happened with Dakota. Obviously, we have to go see the replay to see the full extent of what happened. But can you give us the cliff notes of what happened there on the last few laps?
Oh yeah. I mean that was completely on me. I went to go defend on the inside, took the corner too close and caught some of the grass, and that 50-60% tires just did not grip up, and then I spun and we made contact for a moment. I wish he didn't give up the position because in my opinion it was on me. But yeah, it is what it is. Close racing and stuff happens sometimes.
Good to see the
Yeah,
sport.
it sounds like it's a racing incident, but I know Dakota's always going to err on the side of caution and the side of doing the right thing. So I wish he would have kept going for his sake too, but all of you drove great today. So congrats on second.
Thank you. Well, third, but yeah, thanks.
Third, sorry. I can't count.
All good.
Yeah. Fortunately, second place Dakota Botella could not make it for the interview, but we do have our race winner for GT3, Guillermo Perea. Guillermo, welcome back again. Must be nice to see yourself, moving up the posts a little bit. P3 last week at Le Mans, and now up to P1. Talk to us about your race.
Hello. I
Yeah.
was managing the energy and tires, and Dakota in the first stint was able to go one lap longer, so he had like a very big advantage. And then in the second stint, I was catching Jesse, and then when I was in P3, I don't know why I don't know what happened between Willie and Dakota. I saw Dakota slow outside the S Senna. I overtake him, and then I was able to overtake Willie. I think I was on the outside, and maybe a LMP2 or some car in the inside, and they made contact. But from my POV, that was what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, great job in taking the opportunities you were given, and it paid off into a win.
Yeah, good job,
I
man.
think it's legal. Dakota was very angry, so I don't know. Maybe I did some mistake, but well, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll be sure to have a look at that post-race. All right, gentlemen. congratulations once again on a very good race. And you are free to go back to the voice chat now.
Yeah.
Sounds
Congrats
good. Hey,
again,
guys.
guys. Great drive.
Thank you. Congrats, Guillermo.
Thank you, Willie.
Yeah, good job. All right, Nick. We do have a request. Do we want to? So, Ron Heslop in chat has requested a comment from Richie. Do we bring him on for a little bit?
You do so at your own risk. You know as well as I do. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
Well, we'll bring him on. We'll remind him. I'll remind him a little bit that there's we are live. Richie, welcome to the commentary gantry. We are live right now. So...
Oh dear. Oh, if I'm in here, I'm in trouble.
No, we broadcast this. I'm not going to yell at you in public.
Oh, what have I done?
Nothing. We had a request to interview you because that's what the guys in the stream wanted. So we brought you in because we pander to the audience now.
Okay.
Yeah, so... Yeah, Ron Heslop was in voice chat requesting, and now he does say, I just missed him in racing voice chat. So, just talk to us about your race. How did it go?
Fuel saving worked. I've actually got my head around that now. But still getting to grips with the rear end of this thing coming out of tight corners. It caught me out twice. So, it's just a real issue. It was a long, hard slog.
Yeah, we saw you have a spin out, so.
Yeah, I had two. And they were kind of both when we were having really good battles as well. I find it really difficult as well with the hypercars around or the LMP2s. There was a couple of times where I felt that there was a car on the inside when he shouldn't have been there. But I mean, I'm just not used to racing that much with cars who are
that much faster.
Well, it's not that they're much faster. I see one behind me and I give him space, and all of a sudden there's three there, and I've already started my turning. And you get clobbered by one of them, and I don't know. It was a sweaty race for me as usual.
Oh, that explains the smell in the interview room.
Oh, for sure.
I'm sorry you had some struggles.
The fact that I've got my head around fuel saving now helps. I didn't have
I was just going to say that's
splash this time.
That's a big step for you. It's really important in this game. So,
yeah.
But as far as the Lambo and rear end traction before the next race, you and I'll get together and I'll walk you through what I changed to make that better.
Yeah, it was pretty much the same sort of incident that caught me out. And I didn't think I was hitting the gas too hard, but obviously I was. Once it starts this thing, there's not too much you can do to catch it.
Did it happen the first to second gear shift? Because I personally found on a few of those corners, it's slightly slower, but a lot more stable to exit in second and shift early. Something about the upshift.
It was always in first after I'd gone round one of the two infield hard right-handers.
Yeah, that might be one of the corners where it's better to come out in second and not upset the car with high revs or a big shift.
Yeah. It's just a shame because they were both in really close battles. And I was having fun, and I'd say the others were having fun when they saw me spinning.
You're always fun to battle. I don't worry about you punning me.
For sure. Well, Richie, sorry, man, about your race, but I'm really glad that you've got the VE stuff done. I'm sure.
Well, I'm constant. It was 15th in the last race and 15th in this race, so there's consistency there.
That wins championships.
Yep, consistency is everything.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, man. I do hope to have you on here eventually, as in a more maybe celebratory mood. But yeah, we will see you around.
I'll keep at it.
Yeah, man. I know. If there's one thing I know about you, you will keep at it. I know that, Mr. Sweatlord.
Oh yeah, I'll get my head around it in the end.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Okay,
No doubt
guys.
about it. You're our favorite Aussie.
All right, man. I'm gonna drop you back in a voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take care.
Yep. Well, Nick, that is another race under our belts. So any closing thoughts on this one?
It was kind of surprisingly calm in the beginning and incredibly chaotic at the end, and ended up being a really entertaining race. And I'm glad I got to join you for this. Unfortunate that I had some plans that made it so I couldn't race tonight, but I had a good time watching it.
Yeah, I do. I do look forward to seeing you on the track soon. Hopefully after you replaced your Spectrum guy. But yeah. So with that, yeah, great race. I really enjoyed watching it. Again, like I said, there's just so much to watch. We could not figure out what to look at. But I hope we've done a pretty good enough job with that. So with that being said, I've been Nathan with